Friends who know me closely know what I am constantly involved in. Since kindergarten, when I was 5 years old, I have been studying continuously for 41 years. Even though I hate institutions, I love learning and teaching. I have known many teachers in my life, and many of them had lots of shortcomings. Now I can identify these shortcomings through pedagogical formations. Being a teacher isn't simply about standing in front of a class and giving a lesson. Sometimes you will have to play other different roles in the classroom. We are now going to show you roles you might play as a teacher. First, controller presents explanations in the lesson and takes charge of the class and activity. There will be a lot of teacher talking time, and you will need to snap into this role if the activity isn't going to plan. Best to keep this to a minimum. Second, organizer gives instructions, organizes students into groups or pairs, initiates activities or brings them to a close, and organizes feedback. This is one of the most important roles, as students need to be confident as to how the activities will work or how the groups are supposed to function so that they are not confused. 3. Assessor gives feedback and correction to students as well as evaluating and grading their abilities. Students are usually very keen to find out how they are doing, but try not to correct every mistake you hear as that could discourage them. Fourth, elicitor prompts to students into working things out for themselves and giving a response which involves students more in lessons and keeps them more engaged whilst also aiding understanding. The teacher can ask guiding questions or give activities and tasks designed to allow students to discover things by themselves rather than be told. Student talking time increases. We want to elicit as much as possible during a lesson. Fifth, participant participates in an activity as an equal rather than as the teacher. This levels up an activity from inside the group rather than prompting from outside. However, you need to make sure you don't dominate or take over the activity. Sixth, tutor provides guidance, support, or encouragement more suited to a one-to-one role when students are working individually or in pairs. Be careful to give equal attention to all students and not to intrude too much. Models the teacher's interpretations for students and helps them look up meaning or explanations. You are likely to be the main resource in the classroom. Questions like, what does this mean? You may want to encourage students to work things out on their own whenever possible. It's also important for students to be exposed to how you speak so they can learn a natural way of subjects. At this point, you need to read a lot of books to be a role model. You need to read a lot of books, get to know a lot of people, travel a lot, and question a lot of emotional states. Monitors to see how activities are progressing to get an idea of how long it will take and how successful it has been. Try not to distract the students when you are observing. 7. Facilitator facilitates communication between students in the classroom. Teaching is often regarded as facilitating, as it's about encouraging the students to communicate successfully in the classroom. The role you take on in the classroom depends on what type of activity you are doing, what stage of a lesson you are in, and what you find yourself having to respond to. Some stages of a lesson will require you to be more controlling and in charge, while others will see you taking more of a backseat role. It's important to be able to switch between these roles appropriately so your teaching is at its most effective throughout the lesson. Student-centered education is the way of teaching of our time. You should reflect on each and every point listed in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.